Yo, what's the story, folks? And welcome back to the Art Saddle Podcast. I am your host and the best host, Keenan Flannery. And here with me is the legend, none other than Copper Kelly.
Hey, how's
Hello.
it going? I take exception now to that, Keenan. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I gave you a big amp up, you know what I mean?
You did, yeah.
I kind of, so.
You gave a barefaced slap, or whatever you call it, a backhanded slap there.
A backhanded slap, backhanded compliment, wasn't it? That's the one, yeah.
Yeah,
I always do that. I've done this with you a few times where I amp you up and then throw a nice little stab in, so you don't really get time to kind of
keep each other grounded, I suppose, in a way.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. I'll have to think of something to come back at you at now, but I'll get it when you least expect it, so I'm not going to do it now.
I'll be waiting.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, so welcome to the podcast. Hope you're doing well, Copper, and hope all you folks at home are doing well. Before we start, I think the old man himself will tell you ways can reach out. We've gotten a bit of chats back and forth with a few people in terms of the Patreon and all that fun stuff. And so if any user listen out there, you should reach out. You should tell us what you want us to talk about, who we should have on, any games or any fun things, maybe reviews or films or songs you want us to check out. But how did he do that, Copper? Tell them.
Yeah. So if you want to find us on the socials, you can go over to our Facebook and Instagram. It's the Art Saddle Podcast. And we have our email. If you want to email us in your stories, your requests, your ideas, your feedback, whatever you want, it's the artsaddle@gmail.com. And then we have our Patreon. So that's where you can get bonus episodes and hopefully a lot more goodies in the future. We'll develop it as we go. And that's patreon.com/the Art Saddle Podcast. And of course, we have a few Patreons there. We have Rob and we have Carol. Shout out to Rob and Carol as always.
Shout out. You're about legends. You're just heroes. Carol has been back and forth with us, leaving really lovely comments. And
she has.
She's always sharing the stuff and she's wonderful. So lots of love to you, dear.
She's a great support. Absolutely.
Great support. Yeah. She shared me new music video and all. It's very kind of her. So, yeah. Fair play to her.
That's it. And so what have you been at, Keenan? I will say we are a little late with this episode this week, but we've both been very busy, I suppose you could say. I've been working on a secret acoustic project. To say no more until it's ready to go. Keep tuned, I guess. But Keenan, you've been working away in the film industry. The film
I have.
Movie
I like
business.
Tinseltown. Yeah, I didn't realize. I remember when I started, I had this like glorified vision of like what I thought the film industry is, and it's just like late, like long days, no sleep in the rain, just standing in crap. But a
lot of waiting around. Hurry up and wait.
A lot of waiting around to die, as they say.
Waiting around to die.
It's fun. I was working on a big enough production last week. I was doing a COVID officer job. Just every 2 days, everyone on site had to be tested. So you're just going to making sure everyone's tested, making sure everyone's wearing masks, hand sanitizer if they need it, making sure people are getting that temperature checked and getting wristbands if they did, and all that. And then on Sunday to Tuesday, I was doing sound on a short called Family Man, and that should be out soon. But I'm sure, look, when everything starts coming out, I'll let you know on the podcast and all. If anyone's listening, you can watch it and see my great boom work. You know what I mean?
But hopefully you don't see it. If it's good boom work, you shouldn't see it coming in from the top of the screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. It's like my extra role in the extras. It'll just be like boom, Keenan Flannery.
Yeah. But 5 minute 32, you see the little boom come in at the top. That's good.
That's me there. But it's been good. It's been good. I've gotten no sleep. I'm running off fumes. But I think, and it's like any job. I think you can agree with me on this one. Do you know when you're constantly doing
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're running off fucking like 3-4 hours sleep a night, you can still do it. But the minute you get a day off and you have a proper sleep, you're more tired.
Yeah.
Like I'm bollocks today because I got
yeah.
like a really good sleep and I got up and I just been like a zombie. But like every other day I'm like up and out and I'm tired, but I'm fucking like, I just do it. So
So you're liable to say anything today in the podcast.
Well, I'm liable to say anything every fucking time. Most days I thought I say like 4 or 5 things that just shouldn't come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Well, fuck it. Who gives a bollocks anyway?
Yeah. But that's the thing, what you're saying. Like, yeah, as soon as you're going and you're working and you're keeping going, you're not thinking about it. You have the energy just to keep going. And then as soon as you sit down and stop, you're like, you're gone.
Your body like goes into like fucking like
shutdown mode.
Yeah, but it goes into like fight or flight. You know what I mean? When you're like just walking, it's like, well, like you're not gonna stop, so we might as well keep going, kind of way.
Yeah.
But we're doing grand. We're doing grand. But that was my week.
Stuff.
And in the bonus episode, I will talk more about the film shoot.
Drop some names, perhaps, and
maybe. Yeah. I don't know how I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but no, yeah. No, we'll chat about it.
Yeah.
So if you're on the Patreon, as we said, shout out to the 2 legends that are following us now on the Patreon. Give them an L name drop there, cover.
Rob from Monster Fuzz Podcast. And Carl Lewis as well.
Ooh. Very nice. And if you want to shout out on the podcast and you want to have you can reach out and decide what we talk about on the podcast. I can't speak.
Just see your brain kind of try to figure things out. It's just not getting there.
I'm so fucking tired.
It's okay, man. It's all good. It's all good. But
it's like that. You ever see that clip of was it like Ozzy Osbourne? And he's like, I what was it? It was like, are you drunk now? And he goes like, no,
yeah. I always love that little meme. Him just sitting in the sitting room and the phone rings in the background. And he's just looking around. What the fuck is that? Ozzy's some legend. Actually, I heard something recently that Ozzy has some sort of mutation in his DNA that allowed him to take so much stuff, let's say, over the years that would normally have killed a normal man probably 4 or 5 times over. He has that genetic makeup that allows him to take on so much of the drugs and alcohol over the years. He's like a mutant. It's crazy.
He's like a session mutant.
Yeah. And he's still going. Fair play to him.
Fair play to him indeed. Yeah. Fair play to him.
But I suppose
that guy looks like a drug. You know what I mean?
He looks like a drug.
He looks like a drug. Whatever he's doing with his life, fucking fair play to you, pal.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If Ozzy is listening.
Sure he is, of course. And Sharon listening there, yeah. But let's have a look at the old music news. Up we do the drunken sailors. Jeez. Are you drunk with tiredness? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I am. Fuck. Yeah.
That's cool.
We should have a beer. We should bring a beer in, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I suppose it's only 10 to 4 in the afternoon. Look, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, as Alan Jackson used to say. So, do you have any news? I have a few bits and pieces. Do you want to have a look up some of yours first, or do you want to throw it to me?
You go for it. No, you go for it. Go on. Come on. I fucking know not the moment.
Oh, this is going to be a good episode. So we have new, I suppose, with the whole COVID thing,
Oh, if anyone isn't watching the video,
I did a quotation. I didn't mean to do a quotation.
Tinfoil head over here just went quote COVID with the Bilderbergs and the Hillary Clintons.
Yes. So anyway, I don't know why I did the quotation marks, because it is, whatever. But anyway, the Irish music scene is kind of allowed to make music now again, but only outdoors and to a gathering of 200 people. And what do you make of that situation where we can't even...
It's a load of bollocks it is. That's what it is. I'll tell you how you say it's a load of bollocks. You can cram 25,000 people in the fucking Crow Park.
Yeah.
But you can't get you can't have 50 people in an extremely COVID-friendly environment like Workman.
Are you talking about... There's a tweet that went out by the Gaiety Theatre. Did you see that?
No.
The Gaiety Theatre said, travel update. To the 50 people attending today's matinee in the Gaiety, please allow extra time to travel as there are 24,000 people travelling to Crow Park. Hashtag save the arts. Oh man, it's just fucking ridiculous, isn't it?
That is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. For a fact when you go to fucking Crow Park, there will be COVID restrictions in place. But at the same time, it's such a big crowd that it's hard to really be strict on COVID restrictions. And I'm sure people are mingling a bit more. But if you have a place, my prime example is the main room of Workman's, which you can fit that they were doing gigs where they were fitting 50 people in there, tables, every well space apart, table service. And they shut that down because it was a health risk, apparently. I don't know. It's a lot of bollocks.
It's just even those 200 people are expecting the pubs to then hire more staff to go out and police each table. You can't intermingle between tables and queue. You can't have food unless there's a potential safe queue area, and if not, then there's table service, and then there's it's just even just opening up a bar and having it outside, having drinks outside. You're supposed to, this 17 or 18-year-old barman is supposed to police and bounce and make sure that you have your COVID cert, and it doesn't make practical sense in real life situation. And then,
look, it would be fine if they had funding aside to help with the training and hiring.
Yeah.
But if you think the bars are bad, think about it in terms of a cafe.
Yeah.
You technically now, for it to be viable, you kind of need a bouncer at a cafe.
Yeah.
But they're not getting funding to hire someone.
Yeah. There's an example of that now. There's a local pub down in a little village down the road. It's a little tiny village, and they have an outdoor area. But on a Saturday afternoon, you see these two big burly bouncers standing outside this little tiny village pub, making sure people are, getting in and out, and it's what's the crack with that? What's the financial feasibility of it? And that, that kind of thing. It's just too much of a burden on places. The crap. But then you have there's people giving out about obviously not being able to play outside. And sure, the weekend they announced it last weekend, and people are going, "Oh, great, we'll go out and play." And then obviously it was a really wet weekend. So if you were right to go out and play a gig with our guitars, our PA system, our pedals, or whatever we're using, open to the elements, how are we going to do that? You know what I mean? Bring around a little marquee with us, but then if you have a marquee, does that change restrictions then again, or what the fuck? I don't know.
It's a lot of pubs. And set up to have a stage indoors, and a lot of them don't have stuff outside.
Yeah,
and the places
you can't rely on the Irish weather in any way.
No, you can't. Yeah. And if if anyone has places outside, like if you have any pubs that have like a designated outdoor area that has a stage, it's not like, it wouldn't be like financially viable for them at the moment to be hiring musicians in every week to play to like probably not 200 people. You know, let's be honest, like it's probably like 50, to 100 max on a busy day. Because if you have, if like, have you ever been in a place, like, have you ever been in a bar that has an outdoor area during COVID that can like safely, quote unquote, house 200 people? No
small,
fucking,
like.
no bar has that.
Yeah.
Who the fuck made this? And you know what,
it's
I love?
like a back alley or a little kind of a tiny yard out the back that they've converted into a smoking area or a beer garden.
That's in like, and what I loved, I loved the audacity of the government to like wank themselves off over it. Look at us, we're great. Yeah. We're great. Like, shut up,
giving back to you people,
Martin,
little people.
The little people, fucking big square head on them. Fucking hell, like, do you know what I mean? Load of shower of bastards they are in their suits and their fucking yak dances. Do you know what I mean?
Yak dances?
Yak dances. You ever see that? You ever see that joke Bill Burr says where he's like Hillary Clinton dresses up like a yak and dances underneath a mountain with like the Bilderbergs? You ever seen That's all governments are. It's just a lot of people that wear like goat skins and like sacrifice children and stuff. I don't know.
Bohemian Grove kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting deep now.
We are. Do you think Madeleine McCann was kidnapped?
Jesus. I think that's a different podcast altogether. But what about music?
What about Epstein?
Oh,
what do you think of Epstein? I think
back to music. Like, yeah, it's just crazy that we can't even have 200 people outside. We're up in Belfast. I think it was, when was it now?
Fontaines DC played on Friday.
Yeah, it was at Falls Park in Belfast. It had 10,000 people in an open air event, and they had you had your testing going in and out or whatever. That can be done down here too, but just they don't want to think about it, and they're only going to think about implementing a roadmap at the end of August, at the end of this month.
You think
that doesn't mean anything still. Yeah, take your time. No problem. It's like what, 500 days? I seen an article there of, was it 9 or 9? It's like, musicians are, professional full-time musicians have been out of work for the last 500 days almost, and with no view to reopening or getting back to work. And then there was the whole concert, or the whole campaign during the COVID to reskill. It's like, was it the picture of ballerina? It's like, Julie is a ballerina, but now she's going to become a coder or something like this. You know what I mean? Just shower of bastards.
Shower of fucking leading shy back.
But anyway,
I'll tell you one thing. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh, your pop filter come off.
Fucking hell! I tell you one thing, right? It's just a load of shite, really. That's all it is. It's just
this is the podcast doing. Yeah, there's a shower of bastards. Lots of shite.
But it's like, either, like, it's weird because they're like bipolar. Do you know what I mean? They're like, at times they're like really, really strict on the restrictions, but yet like there's a great spot in town called Georgia Street Arcade, and you have to wear a mask to walk through it.
Yeah.
Because even though it's like it's like a laneway, it has like a shelter.
Oh yeah.
With loads of shops in it. You have to walk through
kind of inside almost.
Yeah, kind of. So you have to wear a mask walking through it.
Yeah.
But if you sit down for a coffee in the laneway, you're actually ducking below the COVID when you sit down. Yeah. So you're kind of like, you're safe,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Then you had Sapone and Frag Karat, some sort of an outdoor event or whatever that they had. It was well over 50 people I had anyway, apparently. It's just, one rule to suit them and one rule for everyone else kind of thing. But
That's it.
yeah,
They do their own thing, and I think the only way, like, and I have a mate of mine that's had a pen, this like unite kind of thing.
yeah.
I
United
like
Ireland, is it?
And hey,
Shout out to Heather. We were up in North there last time.
yeah. Fucking was forced to go up to Derry against me will. Listen to the orange vest.
The orange, the drums out the back.
Yeah.
We were in Armagh. We were nowhere near Derry.
Yeah, they were all out of tune. They were.
Oh yeah.
But no, what he was saying, it's like, the Rise Up Ireland Unite, which is like the anti-lockdown thing.
Oh yeah.
And look,
like it's thin ice now, but
we are on thin ice. Yeah, I'm kind of watching
eggshells. Yeah.
Like, whatever you believe, whether you believe this is a hoax, or you believe, these people are mad, or you believe whatever you believe. But like, one thing he said was like they're doing gigs at the moment. Like, the Ireland Unite are doing gigs, like unregistered kind of festivals and stuff. And they're doing it because they're like, look, we have to make, as artists, we have to make our own roadmap.
Yeah.
Because we're not getting anything.
Can't wait for these politicians to do it.
Yeah. So in a way, I'm kind of going, okay, like, you know what, there's a bit of truth in that. Like, because it's kind of ironic. People are giving out about politicians not helping. But like, when have they ever?
Yeah.
That kind of way. It's not
yeah.
You're not giving me a rope. Yeah, it's like they don't care. Like,
they don't care.
Like, obviously, they want to get voted in, so they won't say it, but they're doing everything they can to be like, look, we don't really care, so you can keep complaining. Yeah. So that's why people are like, well, we need to do something now.
Yeah.
Kind of way.
Okay. I've no party affiliation with anyone. I don't like any of them out there. You know what I mean? It's like I grew up in Ireland when the whole thing about brown envelopes and all that thing was a big thing. So I've just like this inherent distrust now of any fucking politician growing, from all that crap I heard when I was a kid. And I think they're all just looking out for themselves. They all want to get re-elected. They all want to just get their pension. They want to secure their pensions or pensions. Fucking plural pensions sometimes. A few of them are on 2 or 3 pensions. No bother at all. We'll pay for you. No problem. You enjoy your fucking yacht and your country house there. It's kind of your second,
enjoy your
third
yacht
house.
and your
like,
country house.
Don't mind us. Like, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a shower of wankers, Ted. Jeez, you look like your man from Star Wars there now. So the guy played the Mandalorian. He's in Game of Thrones. You look the spitting image of him. He's in Narcos. You know that guy? The mustache. Just the way you look there now. Anyway, I'll see if I can get a picture and put up on the screen. Pedro must... I can't think of his name now. But yeah, you look it up there. But
welcome to Pedro, a psychotherapy evidence-based. Pedro has been informed psychotherapy practice for 21 years. That's not what I'm thinking.
Pedro Pascal, that's him.
Pascal?
You look the spitting image of him.
Pascal.
He's
No, the man, he's so cool. He was the fella from Dorne in Game of Thrones.
That's it, yeah. He got his head crushed by the...
That's spoiler alert for all the people that haven't seen it now.
For a fucking thing that's 5 years old now at this stage, or whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, if you're on the video, you might see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think we'll get on to the next news. We'll stop giving out about the government for a while. And have you seen this? Have you heard about this? About the Whitney Housten hologram is taking up residency in Las Vegas. I just want to get your thought on holograms, because this is a full show of Whitney Houston. Obviously, she's dead. Has been dead for a few years.
It'd be funny if she wasn't. They just decided like, well, we can't get her. She's too expensive. So we got a hologram.
Just get a projector. Yeah. But like the whole show is her, a projection of her, a holographic projection. And she has, there's actually like live dancers and stuff. But the whole show is literally, you're watching a pre-recording of her singing songs. And what's your thought on holograms? Because you're aware of that practice? At least. Yeah.
I seen like before I seen any of them, I thought it was like one of the stupidest ideas ever. And then I seen Tupac, the video of him playing in Coachella. And Coachella. And
that's the Irish version, Coachella.
But yeah, he played that. Or his the
projector played it.
Yeah, his loose matter played it. And it was deadly. He looked fucking really cool. Like, it looked really cool. But like a residency.
Yeah.
What?
I think it's cool sometimes when, say if there's a band playing live and they have done a song with someone in the past, like some sort of collaboration, but that person's no longer there. So they bring on a hologram to sing that one or two songs with them, and then they go on with their gig kind of thing. That's pretty cool. I like that. But if it's a whole gig and you're paying it's probably not going to be expensive, or it's probably not going to be cheap. I mean, Las Vegas is probably, $50 a ticket. I'm just pulling it out of the top of my head, but I'm just thinking that. And if you're paying $50 to basically watch, you might as well just buy a DVD.
A YouTube video.
Yeah, a YouTube video.
You're watching a YouTube video. You're watching an overly priced, exaggerated YouTube video. You know what I mean? But like, if she's taking residency, right? How many different mannerisms does she have?
Yeah.
Do
think of the cost to the promoter. You'd have to keep paying the artist every gig. It's just like you pay the once-off fee for the hologram, and then
but like
ching ching.
You're never gonna get a returning customers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you see it once, you've seen it. Like
once you've seen it, like when was the last time you watched like the same porn video twice? Probably haven't. Do you know what I mean? If I went out, I seen it. It's grand. I'm off to the next one. You don't go, oh, gee, that was a really interesting story. I'd love to see it again.
Yeah.
And I want to see Whitney Houston. Interesting story. I've gotten stuck under a table. I thought, this kind of left. Oh, my oil needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Pizza delivery. My pipes need to be cleaned. But you know what I mean?
I get you.
Like, where the fuck? I don't know. Fucking.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Like,
I think it's like its future. I remember, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, we spoke about AI being able to convert convert different genres and AI generated music and all this stuff. And it's really interesting. And it is interesting to see, maybe go to see it. And I'd love to know the backgrounds of it. Like, I assume it's not just set up, press a button. I assume there's a lot of like stuff happening, because you could imagine if there was a glitch or something, and she just went or something really funny. Yeah. So
as far as you can see, there is a kind of a teaser trailer, I guess, on YouTube where it's her. It's like her on a square in the center of the stage, and she doesn't move from that square, and she has different costumes and stuff. But there's like live dancers and there's lights around the rest of the stage. That's pretty much it, I think. You pay your live dancers every night, but that's it. I'm sure they're not getting paid a huge amount. So it's a strange old one.
Whitney Houston, yeah.
But then, you've had, like, there has been lots of artists over the years that have been projected. Like, you have Roy Orbison, you have Dio. Do you know Dio?
No.
Metal singer. He was in the Pick of Destiny. It's an HC. That guy who was in the poster.
Oh, Dio. Sorry. Fucking.
What did you think I said?
I thought you said D-O. I was like, oh, fair.
I have Elvis and Buddy Holly and all these different ones, it's a cool idea, but not a whole show.
I love that they took a young version of Dio.
Oh yeah.
Not like kind of chubby, overweight, kind of kind of like she got up on the stage with like a fucking cane or something.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that.
I suppose moving on to the next bit, we have another death in the music scene. Now, this is not someone I'm hugely familiar with. Nancy Griffith, a folk singer-songwriter.
Nancy Griffith, yeah.
Do you know much first of it all?
she headlined the Red Ants Festival 2 years ago. Yeah.
The one that you were going to play.
I'm hopefully playing it this year. But
yeah,
I'm listening to it. Some of our stuff wouldn't be like, I wouldn't know terribly a lot about her. But what I do know is she is like definitely one of the pinnacles of like female folk music.
Mm.
You know, she's up there with like Joni Mitchell and stuff. So yeah, it's heartbreaking. That was only today, was it, that she died?
Yeah, I think it was either 13th of August yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday, okay.
She's 68. And she had songs, classics were Love at the Five and Dime, Outbound Playing, sorry.
Outbound Playing.
She's done duets with John Prine in the past and this kind of thing as well. She's
done a lot with. She's very talented.
Yeah. So that's a shame.
That was a shame.
Yeah.
What about I have a bit of news for you.
Go for it.
See, I'm actually, see fucking what the Britney Spears. Her father is resigning
from conservatorship.
He is resigning. He has chosen to resign.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of way.
Not like he was forced out of it because she took lots of court cases against him and such.
And this is the thing. Like, I'd love to know why. Do you know that kind of way? Because she was taking court cases. Well, like, he was winning most of them, you know? And he was getting paid a lot of money from her.
Mm. Oh, yeah. So he had like complete financial control over her, of everything she had, like.
So I don't think he would have been pushed out of fear. And I don't think the public backlash to him, like people being like Free Britney, I don't think that really bothered him either. Because if it did, he would have. Yeah, if it did, he would have stepped out like a while ago. But it's weird the way it was worded. He was like, "I'm stepping down." When was it? It was like, I'm stepping down, and I hope it's a smooth transition. Or something like that, he said.
Yeah.
I probably should have looked this up before I started talking out my arse now.
Quality journalism here from the Art Saddle podcast.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not ragging on you. I'm ragging on myself as well. Don't worry about that.
Oh, no, you can rag on me, man. You're always good with this shit. You know what I mean? I leave the hard stuff to you. That's why
that's what she said. Good times. I have a dad joke for you.
I was literally about to say I have a dad joke.
We forgot about the dad jokes last time. I have one for you. Do you want to hear it?
Go on.
What kind of a bee can you get milk from?
I don't know.
A booby.
Even the way you say it. A booby.
Yeah. It's the way you tell him, as they say. Do you remember that fella? He's from the north. I can't remember his name now, but he goes, it's the way you tell him.
Oh. I've got a fucking notion who you're talking about.
Well before your time.
I have a...
Before my time even.
So it's ages ago.
Oh, fucking centuries.
I have a couple of jokes for you.
Yeah.
So, let me see. Why don't they play poker in the jungle?
Why don't they play poker in the jungle?
Because there's too many cheetahs.
Ah.
I have another one. It's a bit longer, but
okay.
So a woman goes into a tailor's, right? Right. You go fuck yourself. So, yeah. I've gone blank.
Sorry.
I've forgotten me joke.
I ruined it on you. Go on.
A woman goes into a tailor's, right? And she goes up to the fella. She goes, what's the story? And he's like, nothing at all, you know. And she goes, I'm looking for a jumper for me hen. And he goes, what? What are you talking about? Goes, a hen, like me hen. I'm looking for a jumper for me hen. So he goes, well, I don't think I have anything, but I'll go and have a look for you. So he goes in the back and he's looking around and, obviously he's not a fucking hen jumper maker, you know what I mean? He doesn't have any fucking shape for that. So he goes out and he goes, sorry, love, I don't have any jumpers for your hen. And she was like, what you mean? Like, you're a tailor. He's like, yeah, but don't make jumpers for hens. And she's like, can you not just make something? Use your head, like.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, fuck's sake, I'll go and have a look. So he goes into the back, he's tinkering and tottering away, like, messing with fabric and all this, yourself, like. And then he comes with a great idea. So he finds a condom in his pocket. He pops a hole into the top of it, right, and goes out and gives it to her. And she goes, oh, what's this for? And he goes, well, I don't have any jumpers for your hen, but here's a pullover for your cock.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
That's quite. Jenny Mac. Yeah, we kind of hijacked the Britney Spears conversation with a few jokes, but I don't know. What else do you want to say about that? Because
yeah, I'm going on now because I want to find what her father said.
Poor Britney, she's from a young age, she became very famous, and that tends not to bode well for kids that become famous. Kind of, especially sometimes parents can take advantage of that as well, and it doesn't work out well for a lot of them. But you have the like of Macaulay Culkin. I think he divorced his parents. He can do that apparently. He divorced his parents when he was a kid. Yeah. Like, yeah. But he turned out okay actually. He's a cool dude. Like I seen him on lots of YouTube videos. He kind of he collaborated with Red Letter Media or the Angry Video Game Nerd. Those guys. He came in. He popped in on videos of them. I think it was like last year before the whole world ended. But and he was on the Joe Rogan podcast as well at one point, or he was on another podcast? I can't remember. But he's a cool dude. Like he seems like he has his wits about him still. Anyway, a few others don't. Unfortunately, like Britney and I think it's Christina Ricci was another one, or is that? I'm thinking of someone. No, Tora Birch. That's another one. Yeah, there's a good few apparently. But poor Britney had to have this. Her dad looking after her for the last however many years, basically controlling her life, controlling her finances, controlling where she could go, what she could wear, all this kind of crack.
But it says here, I didn't. This is why I said it was worded weirdly. So Mr. Spears intends to work with the court and his daughter's new attorney to prepare for an orderly transition to a new conservator.
Oh, okay.
No,
so Britney's not going to be left to her own devices. It's going to be someone else taking over from her.
Yeah. Well, I think she was all set to like win them court cases. But the only thing that held her back was the breakdown she had. Do you remember the breakdown? Was it like in 2009 or something when she shaved her head?
Yeah.
And she tried to write over all the rights to her music to her boyfriend at the time.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure she did something like that. I might be talking about my ass on that, but I know with the meltdown, that was one of the main things that kind of stopped her from actually just flying through this whole like court procedure.
Yeah.
No timetable has been given for Mr. Spears withdrawing from the agreement. Yeah. Spears said that the control over her life has stretched to taking medication against her will, being prevented from getting married or having a child, and describes the arrangement as humiliating and abusive in court. The legal team filled the okay. So it seems like I don't know if the court. Mr. Spears continues to serve dutifully, and he is not he should not be suspended or removed, and certainly not based on false allegations. The filming said. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So we'll have to keep an eye on the situation.
You wonder who our new conservator is going to be.
We'll say, actually, there's a podcast I listen to a lot, and you listen to, Art and Jacob Do America. I actually guested on them back in, I don't know, a few months ago. But they did a whole episode on Britney Spears recently and the whole Free Britney movement. And they kind of go into depth about that. So if the listeners do want to hear more about that, go over and have a listen to Art and Jacob Do America and go back to find their Britney Spears episode.
I listened to that episode. It was a deadly episode.
You heard that, yeah, it is. So yeah, they did the research on it and stuff. More than what we did anyway.
We don't do research on this podcast.
Who needs it?
Well, you do.
Small bit.
I leave it up to you.
Yeah. But I suppose
I just show up.
Yeah, look. No worries, man. I suppose we'll go on to our main talking point that we didn't actually mention at the start of the episode. We want to talk about music distribution, how it's done, how it works. And I suppose if you're a musician and you don't know how to get your music out there, this might help you. But if you're not a musician, you're like a casual music listener, this might kind of give you an insight, an appreciation of how things work nowadays, at least. Because when you go back to 20 years ago, you had record labels and they'd have a band signed, and the band would go into the studio, record their masters, the final files, which the record label would pay for studio time, but that would be as an advance, which is an advance is like, here, we've just signed Keenan now. I'm going to give Keenan €20,000. That's your advance. You go and pay for studio time out of that and other things as well. And then the masters are then given to the record company. The record company look after the duplication, CD duplication, and getting it out to stores and promotion and so on and so on. But nowadays, in this digital internet age, most musicians can actually do it themselves. And that's what I've been doing. So Keenan's been doing. A lot of independent musicians such as ourselves have been doing it this way. And so you have the services of the like DistroKid, like TuneCore, CD Baby, there's a few other ones as well. And these are like distribution services where you can basically pay to upload your music and upload it to one place. And then from there, they will then send it off to Spotify, Apple, Google Play, Amazon, wherever it is going. And it's obviously, it opens up the world to musicians nowadays, which has its pros and its cons. But Keenan, like, what has your experience been with your own musical distribution?
Well, yeah, I use DistroKid, and
pull your microphone to you a bit there. I think you're gone off axis.
There we go. I use DistroKid, and yeah, I find it fine. Like, it's pretty easy. They just basically have a time frame. If you want things up on a certain day, you need to make sure that you put them up at least like 4 weeks before things are released. And there's a lot of extra things involved. With DistroKid, they added like cool canvases and videos that you can use to promote your stuff. So it's really good.
Canvas, of course, is it's a little 15-second loop of video that you can add to your song. So if you open up the song in the app, the little video is playing as your song is playing in the Spotify app, let's say.
Yeah, that is I mean, like canvases as in like just pictures that pictures that you can upload on your social media. But that canvases thing was added to Spotify for artists. And they all, and you can add the little video behind, which is deadly. Like,
yeah.
But they all have their pros and cons. Like CD Baby is very American, but with every release they give you a barcode, so you can like it's easier to get like sales on like fucking on stores and stuff like that. So there's that. There's Ditto Kid or Ditto Kid, not Distro Kid, Ditto Music.
Yeah.
They have like Fionn uses them.
Oh yeah.
And Fionn actually
being another member of the old Soul Collective.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
So Fionn did a interview, and I think we talked a bit about it when he was on the podcast, but he did a project in college, basically going through all the distribution companies and kind of seeing who has the best kind of, best kind of plan and what you get with it. And he said Ditto Music is the best. I just still haven't moved over because I don't know how it is in terms of moving songs that you upload in one place onto another.
It's possible. I think there's a bit of a process, all right, but it's possible.
It is a process, and I just haven't been asked doing it yet. So I'm kind of, but Ditto Kid have a cool thing where when you pre-save, which if anyone's listening don't know what pre-saving is basically saving the song into your library before it's out. It's super helpful, and you always hear artists pushing it because basically Spotify, the window. Spotify basically, so they keep an eye on pre-save. Save. Can you fuck off, will you? She's sticking her face to it. Look, Spotify keeps track of pre-save links, and if they see you doing a lot of pre-saves, they go, "This is going to be a really, really good song," and they put it up onto the the editorial playlist. Which, once you get on one of them, you're laughing because they have a lot of listeners and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's that. Ditto Music lets you pre-save to a playlist, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
So like with Fionn's Yoke, like when I was coming out, I just pre-saved that straight to the Also Collective playlist. So it's grand. It was helpful. So so basically yeah, and there's a load of them there. It's an easy process. It just there's money involved. But we were talking as we said this in like a couple of episodes ago about the whole the fucking pirating war that happened when basically we loved it because music was free. But that destroyed the like financial stability of music, and it destroyed like how much music is worth.
The value that people hold on music.
And so Spotify, Distro, Deezer, that was a big one, and a few of them, they all popped up and said, well, we're going to give a bit of money and we're going to keep all this music in this space. So they kind of saved the music industry in a way, but then obviously there's the new argument of making no financial gain from it. Terms of an artist, and like I think I seen a post the other day. If you buy someone's album on Bandcamp, you pay the full money to get an album. It actually works out. It's like on average, most artists would have to get it'd be like 2 years of streams just to get the same amount of money as like one sale. Like it's ridiculous. So even that's why when artists put up like a song for €1 on a different distribution service that would download, like to get that €1, you're gonna have to be like getting like, well, how many streams?
Give or take 1,000 streams.
Yeah, give or take, roughly like that.
So it's hard to say because each service kind of pays different amount.
Yeah,
1,000 approx.
So you got that, and then you go on to fucking like fucking making CDs and stuff like that. Which I've made a few CDs, but I make them in my, the old fashioned rip.
Oh yeah.
You rip it onto a fucking disc.
Because I've gone the, I suppose, professional route for my first album. I did the CD duplication Ireland, I think is the name of the service I used. And I printed off maybe 100 CDs with a nice case, and actually I haven't got one to hand right now. But professionally produced, professionally ripped, professional looking CD, and probably cost me like 350, 400 euro for those 100 CDs. And sure, I still have a lot of them sitting there. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of, it doesn't pay it to make CDs anymore. It's a nice thing to do, but any Mac, it's hard to shift them.
That's it. Like, I think back in the day, CDs and vinyls and sort of, they were the go-to for music. If you wanted to hear a song, you listened to it. Nowadays, the more like vinyls are collectors' things and CDs are impulse buys.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I would buy a CD is if I'm supporting someone.
Yeah.
If it's signed, or if I'm at a gig and I'm like, well, maybe the support band is really good and I'll pick up the CD.
Yeah.
But
like
it
long
used
gone
to be
are the days where you go into the local CD shop. Like I used to go when I was a kid, like when I was a teenager, every Saturday went into my local BPM, as we had down here in Wexford, or the Golden Discs, or you had, these different shops.
Golden Discs.
Yeah. And you just go clicking through the whatchamacallit, they had the CDs on the shelf or whatever. And I actually used to work in the Virgin Megastore in Athlone. Do you remember them at all? Virgin Megastore. They're long gone now. I think they turned into Zavvi, Zavvi, and then they just disappeared. They're like HMV, are kind of an equivalent.
Yeah.
And I used to work in there as well, and used to, stock the shelves with CDs and stuff. I loved it at the time. It was great. But long gone are those days now, where you could discover a CD. Like I remember pulling up a Pantera CD. I was like, what the hell is this? This is cool. It's like a tenner. I'll try it. I'll pick it up and give it a go. Spend the tenner on it. And I brought it home. I loved it. It's like my new favorite new band kind of thing. You know what I mean? And you just can't, you don't do that anymore. But you just kind of quickly scroll through Spotify and play a song for 10 seconds and don't like that, move on kind of thing now.
We have like this inbuilt expectation that's much higher than it used to be. Like it's like video games as well. Like when you bought a game because it was cheap, and now even if the game is free, you will like Google a review and look at gameplay footage before you download it.
Will I waste my hard drive space and my time on this free game?
And my time and hard drive space, yeah. Same with CD.
Yeah.
And like I used to do that, like probably haven't done it in a while because this is back when I was in school, and I was working at like 9 to 5, so I was getting a bit more money then, and I had nothing to spend on, so I used to go into shops, music shops every week, and I'd go to the second-hand section.
The
bin
bargain section or whatever.
I would start there maybe. If I got nothing there, I would then go on and have a look in the full price section. But I'd go, there was a place in town called Freebird. It's called the Secret Record Store Shop. And it's like down just like one tiny door off, I believe it's Wicklow Street, kind of down there. And you go down and there's like a stairway up to a therapist office, and there's a donut place, and then there's like this old book and record store right at the back. And you go in, you just root and you find some. And I always went like,
rooting,
you know the band.
Yeah, Bob Dylan's backup band.
Yeah, I found them through having a really, really cool artwork on a vinyl, and it was like a tenner, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna listen to that. Looks deadly.
The artwork, that was like, wow, that looks cool. I might give this a shot. I never heard of this band before. The art looks cool. Might let's see what the music is. That's a lost art now.
Oh, fucking gone.
We were talking about your man from Oasis, was it Noel Gallagher? He was talking recently about how he was coming home to his kids and he had an envelope under his under his arm, and the kids go, "What's that, Daddy? This is the artwork for the latest album that we're doing." What's that? What's artwork? And just, do you know that little tiny square you see on your Spotify app? That yoke there, we have had board meetings about, we've spent like $100,000 on, and it's this tiny little square that you see on your app now, and they're like, oh, what's the point in that? You know, so it's completely lost nowadays. Unless you buy a nice vinyl, you have a big square with the artwork on it, and you appreciate it, but the appreciation is dwindling.
It started with like vinyl back in the day. Like, it's all being slowly but surely deconstructed. So it used to be, in my eyes, with vinyl, you had, first of all, the deciding on how the songs were laid out was based on two things: story and like the creative process of how you want to lay it out, and like the instruments involved. Because, you know, if you have too much space in the first track on the vinyl, it will jump out a needle.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to adjust that. More bassy tracks go more in the middle of the vinyl.
Okay.
And then the artwork, you know,
yes.
It's like, you know, you do that shit. No, it's like Spotify is like, you put it in order of how you like the songs. But who gives a fuck anyway? Because people aren't going to listen to it in the order they're going to hit shuffle.
Shuffle, or add to a playlist, or
add to playlist.
Listen to the first 30 seconds if you're lucky.
And then the artwork means nothing. So artworks are getting more and more dumbed down. That breaks me heart. Because I love sitting there and like listen to a vinyl and like looking at the artwork and being kind of like, you know, reading up on it. And there's a great vinyl from Townes Van Zandt. What was it called? I think it was self-titled, or it could have been like a Summer Thursday, I think it was called. And it's like a portrait of him, and it's just like one side is light and the other side is darkened. And it's like, I read a book about it, and there's like fucking 6 or 7 pages in the book just explaining the process that they went at the time. Like, Townes was he was hopeful but hopeless, and they were two sides of him. Like, that shiny side, that glasses, clean cut, looked well, and that's the side that he was. But the side everyone's seeing was this dark and like kind of a fucking drug abuser, kind of like really on edge of life kind of thing. And it was like this really interesting story about how like the artwork came to be.
Yeah.
And nowadays, just like, I'll just take a picture of something and put it up there. It doesn't really matter. Like, you know what I mean? And then you have like SoundCloud, which is even fucking worse.
Yeah.
Because like SoundCloud just doesn't show your artwork unless you really fucking look for it. Like,
it's
a bastard to find. So, I don't know. It's
kind of, look, we've this episode has been kind of like two old men shouts at clouds.
Fuck you, Spotify. Give me my vinyls back. But like, I think Spotify, I think this is something that, and I might even email them for the shit thing. But some really simple thing that they can add in. Make it to where if you click on the artwork, it blows up and you can zoom in.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You can zoom in to be.
Just look at it, yeah. I was just going to take that back. Yeah, absolutely.
You flick it, the thing spins, and you can flip it around. Maybe
look at the liner notes. Remember those?
Yeah, there you go.
Pictures of the band, lyrics, all that kind of stuff.
Little envelopes. Yeah, everything
that kind of stuff. Like, as long as they have a place for artists to upload it, they should be able to fucking do that.
That's that, and just even if you don't want to make it too simple, or too complicated. Because I know they don't like to work hard. All they need to do is put in where you can front art. That's all we need for starters. Zoom into the front art.
Yeah.
And be able to actually zoom into it, look close, look at part. You know, and I think number one, it will give people more of appreciation for artwork. And number two, it will make artists cop on and realize that they really need to put time into artwork. Because you have artists that put things up on Spotify and then you see them put up the actual artwork and it's like really pixelated because it's not the right like pixel depth and width.
Yeah.
But they're like, I don't care, it's on Spotify, you can't see it. But it's like, if you make it to where I can actually see it, they're going to be like, oh shit, I should really put an effort into actually making it half decent. Like, so.
I think we'll slide into the Patreon. So we'll draw close to this episode. We're reaching the hour mark there now. So we'll slide into the page, as we say.
Slide in.
And we'll say goodbye for now before Keenan says something else. Demented head looking on him. But yeah, thanks for listening. And hopefully we'll have a few interesting guests coming up soon. We'll say no more for right now. But please do get in touch with us if you're listening this far. You're a soldier. Thanks very much. I don't know why I said soldier. You're great. Thank you very much. And do let us know what you want to hear us talk about in the future. If you do like us talking at all, and or you just want to tell us to shut up, whatever. It's up to you. Let us know anyway. Get in contact with us. Comment us on the old Facebook, Instagram, the Art Saddle Podcast, and of course, if you want to listen to the crap that we're going to talk now for the next half an hour, 40 minutes, go over to our Patreon and you get the bonus episodes over there.
€1 a month.
That's it.
For 4 extra episodes.
Exactly. Well, I think it was like 3 episodes this month because we kind of missed a week. But
shut up. You're an awful salesman. Like, come on, like, fuck's sake. This is your Patreon as well as mine. You know, you're not trying to throw me under the bus.
Okay.
But we will. We'll try to make a bonus episode or maybe do something, I don't know, something fun. Maybe.
Let us know what you'd like to hear from us.
You never know. Copper might give you some previews on the Patreon of the new projects he's working on. Yeah. You never know.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that, I suppose, over on the Patreon.
There you go.
Yeah. But for now, I think we'll say goodbye and we'll talk to you next week. And that's a goodbye from me.
And for me, thank you for letting us be balls deep in your ears. All the best, and we'll chat to you next week.
Chat to you next week. Good luck.